So I think this is going to be the video where I debunk some mysteries from YouTube and TikTok and whatever else I've uncovered, because I watch these videos and I've come to realize that these people don't know how to sew, or they know the bare minimum of sewing. I've been sewing for, real quick math, 42 years, 45 years, something like that. I don't know, maybe over 50. I lost count. I think it's over 50. Anyway, I watch these videos and I make the stuff, and then I'm like, that's not the best and most efficient way to do something. So let me show you what I mean. The camera around. On YouTube, I found a lady making these things. Now, I followed this exactly her way, and you can see it's not sewn real neat. I didn't understand how she wanted this flap done, and I don't like the fact that there's an opening here. It's like, who taught you how to put bias tape together? And it was just wonky and wacky. And the pattern, I had struggled with the pattern, making it fit, because my printer kind of crapped out on me too. So today I decided I'd make it again. And this is the remade one. And you can tell it's just neater, more well put together. This is an actual seam here. It's seamed shut, and it looks really cute. And what these are pot holder grippers. Hang on a second. They're pot grippers. You put your fingers in it and you can grip the pot with it. And it's great because it's good for left-handed people like me or right-handed people. But the problem is how you put it together, the construction of it. So following her method, I cut the patterns out like they were supposed to and quilted them and did all this. And that wasn't necessarily the most efficient way to do it. So what I did was I have the pattern here, and I have all the information. And this time when I do it, and that's what the squares are here, I'm going to line them up. I cut 3 by 6 inch squares or rectangles, and I cut it out of each one of these. And then here's the one you need for this one. Okay, and I'll put it in the directions too, and I'll put a link for the pattern when I get the whole video done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to quilt the lines together first on these pieces here. I usually make 2 at a time. And then I'm going to set the pattern on top of it and then cut it out. And I think that'll be more efficient. And then the rest is just adding the bias tape and stuff to it. And I'll show it to you step by step. But this is the first part of what I wanted to show you. And I will put the link in so that you can see it. And like I said, her directions are one for the books. And she has so many extra steps to it that you just don't need. And I like to do things the K.I.S.S way. Keep it simple, sweetie. Cut to the chase. This is what you need. This is how much of it you need. This is what it looks like when it's done. So this is the first video. I'll put them all together as I move on and show you the different stages of it, and then I'll put it all into one big video when I upload all this to YouTube. But I will include the pattern and the measurements for you. So don't go away. Hang on. More's coming. Okay, so here's step 2 of the new way I'm doing it. I'm taking a piece of fabric. This is roughly 5.5 by 7.5 inches. I'm putting it right side down because this is all get bias tape around it, so I don't have to put right sides together. So I have that piece of fabric there. I have a piece of cotton batting that I'm going to lay on top of it. It doesn't have to be super neat. That's what I like about this particular way of doing it, because I'll show you why in a second. And then a piece of Insulbrite. Now, Insulbrite you can buy. I buy mine on Amazon. Oh, I used to get it at Joann's, but well, you know how that goes. So you can hear it. It's got crinkly stuff inside, and when you make pot holders, if you put Insulbrite in it, it'll keep the folks from burning their fingers. Then I took another piece. This is going to be the lining, and this is approximately 5 by 7 is 5.5 by 7.5 anyway. Actually, it's a little bit bigger. And I drew lines. These are my quilting lines. They're 1 inch apart, straight lines. Then I'm going to pin it all together, and you want it so that when you lay your template over the top of it after you've quilted everything together, you're going to cut it all out. It'll just make life a little bit easier doing it this way, because if you do it the way the other lady showed you on her page that I learned how to do this from, these things shift. So if I can make it shift while it's like this, as long as I have enough room to cut my template out, that means my quilting is going to be the same size, my quilted pieces, and these are going to fit better together. Because when I was doing it her way, I was having to trim a lot of the pieces, and that wasn't working for me. So I have one over there. I'm going to pin this together, and then I'm going to pin my smaller pieces to get the little pocket pieces out of the flaps. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to do a straight quilting stitch right on down. And then I'll show you the next step. So I sewed all the pieces together. I used a long stitch on my machine. I made adjustments for the thickness of the fabrics, and I sewed them an inch apart. And then I took my template and I traced around it, and now I'm going to cut it out, and I'll show you what will happen. Okay, so here's my excess pieces. That'll just go in the trash, and this is all scrap fabric anyway, so I've dwindled it down to that, which is great. But here's the part that she wasn't doing. None of my pieces now shifted. I have it the perfect size on both sides, and it's the exact same size as my template, which wasn't happening before because, here, I'll line it up better. It wasn't happening that way before because of her telling you to stitch this after you've cut it. Well, the pieces are so small that they're going to shift and wiggle and move. So when I wound up sewing this one together, I was constantly having to trim the edges here to make sure that they met. Now I don't have to. They're going to be a perfect fit with all the other pieces. So on to the next step. I have to do this with the other pieces I have over there. But this is definitely the better way to do it. And again, I didn't just learn how to sew yesterday. I did learn how to make these a couple of weeks ago, and it's been bothering me, so I've been stewing over it, and I came up with this method, and now that's why I'm sharing it with you. I have 50 years of sewing experience. Trust me, this is the easier way to do it. Okay, the next step is taking the half square or half circles and putting binding on them. So let me show you how I do that. And basically all I do is open up the bias tape and hold it down, and what I'm going to do is just stitch it across here. But because I'm a quilter at heart, I'm also going to take this one, and then I'm going to put the next one to it this way, and I'm just going to have all four of them lined up together. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here they are in a string. Push my sewing machine back. There they are, all sewn together. And when you do it this way, you can see that it also catches the back piece. Now, for some of you, this might bother you, this extra flap. It doesn't bother me though, because when I cut these apart, okay, so here's the piece. Here's the main part of it. This is the back of it though. This is the lining, so the lining should face you. And when I put it down here, the inside with this big piece, if it bothers you so much, don't let it bother you. It's going to go on the inside. And no one's going to ever see it because that's where your hand goes. And because we cut them out the right way, these are now perfectly sized up on each end. So when I put the bias tape on it to go completely around this, it's going to lay so much nicer and give me a bigger area to work with. Now you want to make sure that your pieces are straight across. So yeah, there it goes. Has some cleaning up yet to do with the threads. I do that when I'm finished. And this line will eventually wear out, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get this all pinned because this might still shift. So I'm going to pin this together on this and on this side over here and get these ready to go into the machine with more bias tape. Okay, so I have it set up. I sew it so that the back, which is this piece right here, is facing up. And now I'm going to stitch the bias tape to all the pieces that I've pinned here. And it's pretty thick, so make sure your machine can handle it. Okay, I think I'm going to make my stitch a little bit bigger. And when you stitch this, you're going to stitch it, your needle should fall right here on the crease. And so I'm going to start, and I'm not going to sew very fast. And I'm going to stop my machine with the needle down so that I can maneuver it and get it to where I can work it and not have a buckle of fabric right here. And you're going to continue all the way around, always sewing right here in that crease. Okay, then you're going to flip the bias tape. It was this way, and I flipped it going this way, bringing it to the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch. Let's see if I can get this to show for you without it losing your mind. Can't get up close and personal. There we go. And it's about 1/8 of an inch from the end. So I'm just going to start stitching. And you want to make sure that all the fabric is tucked up underneath it. And when I sew like this, hang on, let me get my other piece here. I use one of these skinny awls and I push it in. And then to help hold the fabric down as I go around, I put my point there. And it just keeps this flat and it keeps it from puckering. So I'll do that all the way around. And there you have it. It's all stitched down. It's not perfect, but you know what? People will buy it anyway. And there you have it. And it fit perfectly. It's the same size when it folds in half because of us doing it the way we did it. We quilted it first. I'm definitely going to be doing that from now on. Red, white, and blue tie-dye with, I know it's kind of pinkish, but it's red. So yeah, there's my little quick pot holder. And it's very insulated. It won't burn people, and that's the best part about it. And there you have it. So when it's posted, I will have the link in there for the pattern so that you can print it out if you want it, and I'll have all the information on there as well. Alrighty, have a good day.